welcome back to the show and welcome back to my channel. My name is Julia. I am a registered dietitian for those of you who are new here. I'm based out of Vancouver, but I help people all over the world get to the root cause of chronic symptoms, especially with eczema and gut issues. And on my channel, you'll learn the tools and tips to help heal your skin and your gut. Also share a lot about the nervous system, which is such a huge piece in everyone's healing journey, especially when it comes to eczema. Today is Friday, March the 13th. I have my coffee, double Scuro espresso from Nespresso, and oat milk. It is the best. I have it every single day. As a dietitian who doesn't recommend strict dieting or avoiding foods unnecessarily, oat milk is totally fine to have. Okay, so before we talk about today's episode, which is about subconscious beliefs, and I'm so excited for this episode because it's one of those topics I feel like people, like even for me, I have a hard time understanding. But now that I've been studying it, reading about it, and seeing how my beliefs and my subconscious beliefs specifically has changed my entire healing journey, it's helped me heal my skin, it's helped me understand my body more, it helped me actually lose weight. I know I was never actually overweight, but I did actually carry inflammation in my body because of certain beliefs, which we'll talk about today. And even with my business as well, and how changing my beliefs about myself and my business has actually helped me so much in growing. Before we get into it, I have a very, very, very exciting announcement. Some of you probably have already seen me talk about it night and day on my Instagram and on my email list. I just recently launched a new program. It's called Root and Rise. This 4-week live coaching program is perfect for the person who has just been feeling stuck with healing eczema, healing gut issues, or even just chronic inflammation. For the person who has been on multiple different protocols, trying different diets, trying different supplements, but you're just not seeing those changes. And if you are, they tend to be temporary. And what we've seen in practice for the past 6 years is that it's not that people are missing information. It's not that you are missing information when it comes to how to heal your skin and your body. It's the nervous system piece. So many people are in this chronic state of nervous system stress, chronic state of dysregulation. Even though they have a good protocol, their body isn't responding to it. And so this is where Root and Rise comes in, because not only do we talk about root causes, which is so important, and knowing what your root causes and triggers are for your eczema and for your gut issues, we actually help you identify the underlying triggers. That could be microbial imbalance, diet related, immune system, sluggish detox pathways, nutrient deficiencies, all of the different root causes, because there's so many. I will guide you throughout the entire 4 weeks of the coaching program. Then we pair root cause work with nervous system regulation. So what that means is that every single call, you'll receive guidance on knowing your root causes, understanding what applies to you. And then we used mindfulness tools like EFT tapping, which is something that I'm trained in, to help regulate your nervous system, clear any negative thoughts, negative beliefs that is actually slowing down people's progress. And this is how you actually see long-term healing, because your body will only respond and only heal if it feels safe enough to respond to the protocol. Everyone gets a chance to ask me questions and receive personalized guidance. This is why we keep the group very small, so everyone gets the support. And so if you're someone that's been really stuck in this cycle of flaring, cycle of symptoms, and you really want to understand what is going on, how to improve those symptoms, stop the itch, stop the bloating, and have clarity in terms of what to do and be able to sustain that, then Root and Rise is for you. Once we get all the enrollments into Root and Rise, we'll start the program. So if this sounds like this is what you need, you're burnt out, you're overwhelmed, then make sure you hit the link below to learn more about Root and Rise and join us in this beautiful container. So that's my exciting announcement. I've been working so hard on this program over the past month before launching it. I haven't seen anyone else really pair nervous system with strategy, with root causes. I just know it's going to help so many of you, and I'm so excited to see you inside. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So there are subconscious beliefs that keep people stuck in flares, that may be keeping you stuck in flares and symptoms. I've been having really interesting conversations with clients on my coaching calls and also with discovery calls that I've been having as well. Actually, last week I hosted a free coaching call, and a lot of the questions that I was getting is that people are doing so many things to heal. They're following the protocols, they're taking the supplements, They're going on different diets. They're doing the skincare. They're doing the mindfulness regulation practices. All the things that you can think of to heal your body right now, which I'm sure you're probably doing already. On the outside, people are doing these things, but in the mind, something's actually blocking the healing. I just thought of a client that actually brought this up. So yesterday I did a EFT tapping clearing session with my client. We were trying to clear the belief that her eczema is going to be there forever. And what's interesting is that she is a client that's been working with me for the past 6 months already. She has seen tremendous improvement with her skin, like such a big difference from where she started back in September. But obviously her skin's not completely healed yet and there's still symptoms. But it's interesting because even though she's improving, she still has this thought in her mind that she's always going to have eczema for the rest of her life. And that's what I realized something, because it's not just this client that has that thought. It's many of you and many of my other clients who have the same thought that they're going to have eczema and these symptoms for the rest of their life, even though there's evidence that they're healing. So that tells us that people could be doing the right things in their external, right? Physically, they're focusing on their diet, supplements, they're doing the right skincare, but mentally, their brain is actually stuck in a pattern. It's stuck in a past belief. And if you're operating from a belief from the past, that actually prevents progress from moving forward. Now, why? Okay, let me teach you something about the subconscious and the conscious mind. If you're someone that has read Dr. Joe Dispenza's books or just even followed any of his content that he shares, his philosophy is that if you want to change your life, you have to change your mind. You have to change your energy. You have to change the way that you think. If you change the way that you think, stop operating from your old patterns and beliefs and becoming that newer version of yourself, then you're able to achieve any goal that you want. Subconscious mind and the conscious mind, what is it? Your conscious is the part of your brain that is very logical. Okay. It's analytical, it's logical, it's, the things that you're doing that you're telling yourself, okay, yes, I'm healing my skin. I'm going to work on X, Y, and Z. I'm going to go on this diet. I'm going to follow this protocol. It's very logical, right? It's very realistic. Like I'm going to do these things. And so when you tell yourself, or when you think about doing these things for your body, in your conscious mind, you're like, yeah, if I do these things, of course I'm going to improve. It's obvious. That's the logical way of thinking. Take care of your body, then you're going to heal. But in your subconscious is based on your past experiences and your past beliefs and what you were taught and conditioned when you were younger. If your conscious mind is saying, if you're putting this to context of eczema, I will heal because I'm doing the things. I am healing. I know that I am healing because I'm doing the things. I'm doing the diets. I'm taking the supplements. I'm eating healthy. Yeah, I'm going to heal. Like you're consciously knowing that's the logical route, right? But in your subconscious, the story is different. Really, really different, especially for my eczema clients. There's a little voice in your head saying, and you might not be saying this to yourself, it's a subconscious thought that comes and goes. It's a little voice saying, my skin's always flaring. My skin is never going to heal. My eczema is something that I'm going to have forever. Nothing is working. I have to be really consistent in order to heal. I have to follow this protocol so that I can heal. Does that resonate? These are very common patterns as chronic illness warriors to have. Now, I just want to say there's nothing wrong with you. This is normal. Our brains will always focus on problems. Oh, there's Taco. He's coming to join the conversation. Would you like to talk? Say hello. He does this thing where if I leave my door open, just like a little bit, he like barges in with his head because he wants to come hang out, I guess. Super cute. So going back to that little voice in your head saying these things, even though consciously tell yourself I'm going to heal, subconsciously you don't really believe it yet. That's why some people can do affirmations all day. I am healing, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing, but they're just not healing because positive affirmations, it doesn't get to the root cause. It doesn't clear limiting beliefs. It's sort of masking what's underneath that we need to figure out. Reframe those old beliefs into new ones. And you can't really reframe old beliefs into new ones when you're just repeating affirmations. You have to actually believe it in your body and in your cells. When you have these beliefs that are present, and we can talk about how to identify them and how to clear them in a moment here, that's going to influence your actions and it's going to influence your results. It's like the person who works really hard to become rich. Maybe they have a business that they're running and, in the external, they're doing all the things. They're, selling their offer, they're marketing, they're, whatever it is to grow their business. But in their subconscious belief, they have a poor mindset. They say they're not good enough. No one's going to buy their product. They're never going to make money. Making money means you need to struggle. People who are rich are evil. These are like subconscious beliefs that have been conditioned to them, when they were younger, because maybe they had poor relationship with money, or they grew up in a household and around parents who didn't make the best financial decisions. That's an example of conscious versus subconscious. Consciously, they want to be successful and they want to become rich. They have these beliefs that's actually blocking them from achieving that. Going back to example of your skin and your symptoms, this is why people get stuck. They are actually noticing improvements in their skin, just like my client who was actually seeing so much improvement in her skin from 6 months ago. Her redness is getting better, the itching is less, like she's flaking a lot less, but her brain is like fixated on the eczema and the flare. Her brain immediately goes to, see, nothing is working. You're going to have eczema forever. I knew that this flare is going to last, right? So her brain started to go back to the previous pattern. And suddenly all the progress that you may be making doesn't matter. Right? It's like your brain has forgotten that is even happening. This is why we know that nervous system regulation is so important and why you should join Root and Rise, because we talk about all these beliefs. We talk about these beliefs, the subconscious mind, how to clear them, because we know that the nervous system, immune system, and the skin are all interconnected. They're all deeply connected. And we call that psychoneuroimmunology. So even though it sounds kind of woo, but it's not, there's actually science behind how your beliefs, how your mind impact the skin and impact your immune system. If you're someone that's doing all the things, but you're not working on the beliefs, then you're still going to be noticing those flares and the inflammation. When your brain sees that there's a threat in the body, and that threat could be your beliefs, that is where your body stays in a state of inflammation. A lot of people ask, Julia, how do you heal your skin so easily? And you don't even need to go on a strict diet. And I tell them, it's my beliefs. I believe that I can heal my skin without going on a strict protocol. I believe that my skin heals from doing less. I believe that my eczema can improve without needing to do all the things. That is my own belief that took a long time for me to really rewire into that, because in the past, like 10 years ago, I was in the same shoes as you. I did so many things, so many protocols, diets, elimination diet, detoxes. I saw a Chinese medicine doctor. He gave me a strict diet. He said I have to live with it forever. I went through that rabbit hole as well, where I literally thought that this was the rest of my life. That became a belief. I really had to work on those patterns. And now I am so confident in healing my skin. It is like magic to me, because I still have eczema and it flares because I know my root cause is stress. And when I don't sleep enough, I just know that it gets to be easy. And when you make that into a belief that it gets to be easy, guess what? It gets to be easy. It doesn't have to be a grind. It doesn't have to be you doing so much that you're actually burnt out from doing it. Then that's not going to help you. And so the pattern that you may want to think about is, what is the belief that you have about healing? Is it that you need to do more to heal? Is that a subconscious belief you have? And if you have that belief, guess what? You're always going to be doing something. There's always going to be something for you to fix. You're going to be taking probably more supplements, more diets, more detox. You're always looking for something. And guess what? If you're always looking for something to do, you're always going to be doing something. That's just how it works. When you're constantly looking for the next thing, there's actually a lack of trust in your body. Because if you fully trusted your protocol, fully trusted yourself and your body, you wouldn't be constantly searching. You just know that it's going to work, period. It's really as simple as that. Now, if you don't have trust in yourself and in your eczema, do you think your eczema is going to support you? Probably not. Think about a friend, right? If you constantly tell your friend you don't trust her, you think she's lying, what do you think your friend's going to do? She's not going to support you, because why would she if you don't see that she's a good friend? See your eczema as the same way. Your eczema is on your side, and I know it doesn't feel like that all the time, but we want to start seeing that your eczema is actually trying to support you and that your body is trying to support you, because then that's when you develop a better relationship with your body. And when you have a better relationship with your body, that's when you actually heal. So by now, maybe you're like, wow, Julia, I think I do actually have subconscious beliefs that I need to clear. Where do I start? The first and foremost thing you want to do is awareness. Start by noticing if you have patterns, have repeating thoughts. I actually recommend writing it in your journal so you can actually see on paper what are some subconscious beliefs that you have currently about your journey and about your healing. One thing to keep in mind is that subconscious beliefs and patterns don't come overnight, don't just appear overnight. That's why they're beliefs. That's why they're patterns, because it's something that you learned and believed over a period of time. It's the same thoughts that has been repeating over the past 5, 10, 20 years. Once you write down all of your beliefs, could be more than one. Number 2 is to challenge that belief. Where did this belief come from? Is it because in the past few years, your doctor or your dermatologist said that you had to live with this condition forever? And over time, them telling you the same thing over and over and over again started to become your belief. Maybe this subconscious belief that you won't heal, going back to the example of my client who thought that her eczema is going to be something she'd live with forever, it's because that she dealt with multiple flares year after year after year. That became a belief. That became a pattern that eczema is just something that she has to deal with every year, every time, for decades, forever. And maybe you've been trying to heal all these years, different treatments, natural or not, and you're just not seeing that lasting change. Then this would fuel this belief that your eczema is never going to heal. Once you challenge the belief, this is when you want to start finding the evidence that this belief is not true. Because to recreate a new belief, you have to find evidence. Your brain looks for evidence. Your brain looks for new patterns. This is why I always say when you're on your healing journey, we want to keep track of all the wins and all the improvements. If you don't, your brain will always look for issues. It will always look for problems. Find the reasons that your body is healing. And it doesn't have to be your skin healing, because we know that the skin tends to heal last. Can you find evidence in your life right now that your body's working for you? I could probably find 10 for you right now. Your digestion improving, that's evidence. Maybe you're itching a little bit less, that's evidence. Maybe your mindset's better, that's evidence, because we know that if you have a better mindset and your nervous system is regulated, that is going to be supportive of your healing. Maybe you're sleeping a little bit better. Maybe you're more hopeful with your healing journey. Maybe you're thinking about your skin a little bit less. Right? Those micro improvements make such a big difference, more than you think. Because again, we're training our brains to focus on what's working versus focusing on what's not. But if you don't even do that, if you don't even focus on your wins, how are you going to see more healing, right? Because if you don't focus on the improvements, what else are you going to be doing? You're going to be focusing on all the reasons that you're not. So number 1, awareness of the subconscious belief and the pattern. Number 2, challenge the belief. Where did this belief come from? And write it down if you need to. Number 3, find the evidence of the opposite belief. Find evidence that it already is on the way to healing, which is all the things that I listed. If you need help with this is exactly what we do inside Root and Rise. If you don't know where to start, if you don't know how to find your beliefs, you don't know how to find your blocks, I do that with you inside Root and Rise. I will help you identify the limiting beliefs through live coaching over the course of 4 weeks. We also look for your root causes as well. This is a container that I'm so excited for, that I'm really passionate about, because again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you don't need more information about how to heal. You know it. You could chat GPT it, right? You could look for it online, but there's so much information that you're probably burnt out, you're overwhelmed, and you're just lost. So we're going to take all of that overwhelm away and give you the direction inside Root and Rise, give you the strategy with finding your root cause, give you the nervous system tools, and actually do it with you, right? You could have the information, but not the action. That's the difference between Root and Rise. It's not just about information. It's about actually regulating with you and finding that root cause specifically for you. And we do that inside the coaching calls. Once we get everyone enrolled, we'll start the program. Right now, we're accommodating people's time zones and schedules, and even offer more calls if it's needed. And the calls will also recorded. So if you do miss a coaching call, that's okay. They're always accessible for lifetime access. We're keeping this container small so that everyone gets personalized support. I wouldn't wait on it to join. You can go to the show notes here and learn more about the program and also sign up there. If you have any questions about Root and Rise, you're on the fence, feel free to send me a message on Instagram at juliachen.rd. I've been talking a lot about Root and Rise on my Instagram, but also on my website. You can find everything you need to know about Root and Rise, what's included, what to expect, what you'll achieve, and the link to join. If you found this episode insightful, hit subscribe for more weekly videos. Give this video a thumbs up. Also share to anyone else that you think would find this helpful. This also applies to anyone else that's dealing with chronic inflammation or even just nervous system stress. I also share tips on other things that you guys are probably curious about, which is the diet piece and the supplements and things like that. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you inside Root and Rise, and we'll also see you in next week's episode.